Well, it's funny that you look at all the politics on YouTube. Everybody's screaming about inflations. Um, you know, yes, I think for inflation, it's best to just take care of the senior on fixed income, that especially the one with disabled. Let's say they get SSI for $800. Those are the one who will be hurting the most. The government should pay attention to those seniors and the one that are disabled, because for $800 a month, yeah, they will have a hard time. But other than that, I think that we can find ways to work with inflation. Carpooling, sharing the food. I mean, if you have a homegrown lemon tree, orange tree, any kind of fruit trees, any herbs, salad, or whatsoever, sell it. Sell it to your neighbor for a price cheaper than the market. It's not really so much to be complaining about. Health insurance these days now, you pretty much um, get free. I mean, because due to the COVID, situation. So, well, except the seniors, like my parents, they have to pay for their health insurance, which is about based on their age. But it's still feasible. It's not like the end of the world. I'd rather pay a dollar or two more on my gas and watching the lives, saving lives in Ukraine, or have some kind of humanitarian purposes. I mean, it's not everything about has to be blown up. We're alive. We're not dead. We're not in war. But the people across the globe, in Ukraine, they are. The children are innocent victims. So don't scream or cry too much about high price inflation. We know these things coming. They always come when it comes to election time. They always make something up so people can get, you know, hyper and to go out and vote. But let's be realistic here. We're not dying. Okay, that's the main point. We are not dying. Yes, struggle. Yes, hard. I tell you one thing. If the government do something about affordable housing, stop playing games with certain people of favors, that right there can beat the inflation. Our most expensive cost of living is nothing more than a place to live. And when it comes to food, gas, and all that, transportation, we can manage. But how do you manage if you don't have a stable home? How are you going to earn extra money if you don't have a stable living situation? And the government really, they have the priorities backward. They have all kind of programs out there, but it's almost like you have to kiss their ass in order to get it. Or unless you have to know somebody in the system that like you enough to reach out and help you. Or other than that, you're doomed. For every freaking dollars that we save, they try to take it away. And then screaming about inflation for election purposes? Please. You know, if you really, really care about inflation, start taking care of the senior, where they get fixed income, right, Tran? On Social Security. My sister is blessed, man. My sister got my mom's Social Security, which is known as survivor benefit. I can imagine people like her, adult with Down syndrome, without parents. Well, those people end up on the most of the time in the institution or one of those home care. Hopefully, they get the love. But some disabled people only get $800 a month on SSI. How the hell can they pay the rent here at $1,800 for one bedroom? And they call that low income. Low income. Really? You know? So, and then they want your whole lifetime financial information. It's like, hello, why do you need all that? Why can't you just get whatever the latest check stuff? Wouldn't that be enough verification? I mean, it's like, oh my God, the red tape to get a low income or moderate income housing is a joke, you know? So, and these corporations get the massive credit, tax credit. And how many units did they give? Barely none. Okay, and the voucher, Section 8 voucher, people who doesn't need it, they got it. People who desperately need it, they're closed. The waiting list closed. So this whole thing, inflation, screaming, yelling, hey, are you dead yet? Because people in Ukraine are dying, you know? So what's the big deal if you pay $1 or $2 more on the gas? Oh my goodness, And then when it comes to fruits, vegetable, there's a lot of homegrown fruit and vegetable trees around. If you live by near the farm, God bless you. Do something. Sell less. You know, doesn't have to be anything to be expensive. Cook a spaghetti. Eat for 2 days. There you go. Save money on food. You don't have to be screaming and yelling, but you know what? That's what the politicians like to do. They like to make noises so you can go rah, rah, rah and go against one team after another. We don't need that. What we need now is the government to work together, united as one. Not this team, not this party, not that party, but work together as a team. Because right now it's more crucial than ever. We don't know what's the end of the war with Ukraine and Russia. We don't know if Russia wins, what else they're going to do to the next country, and then who knows what China might be involved. So don't worry about the inflation. Worry about the people that are suffering right now, which are the seniors in America, the disabled who get fixed income of $800 a month. Like I say, I am blessed. My sister is blessed. If she got $800 a month SSI alone, we'd be in trouble by now. They'd probably do all kind of shit to us. But thank God she got my mom's survivor benefit. We're not on welfare. We're not on any kind of a food stamp, any kind of program. All we want is affordable housing, not even a handout, but build something that the people like in our age group, the people in about our age income range can purchase, can afford to rent on our own, and then when we try to call in, they advertise it so beautifully. Oh, you live in this city, that city, affordable housing, blah, blah, blah. You call them, none of it available. And if they're available, they want your whole lifetime history of finance. What the F, man? Are you serious? Did the government ask you for all that before they give you $100,000 of tax credit? So the government system is really screwed up. And every time, election time, they always make it worse. And guess who paying for it? We, the civilians, the people. The same thing. Look at in Russia. Look in Ukraine. Who's paying for it? The people. Okay? I don't know much about their country, Ukraine. I just know that right now, the war is unnecessary. People dying. It appears that the leader seems to fight back, that he resilience. So, the Republicans say, oh, they corrupted the this, the that. Well, let's deal with that after the war, yeah? And then you can prosecute him or whatever after the war. But right now, people are suffering. The civilians are dying. They're bombing the children's hospital, for God's sake. Especially the hospice care. You know what hospice care means? Or maybe not. Hospice care means that a person only have less than a year or so to live. My goodness, and if that dictator ordered to bomb that hospital with children gonna die sooner or later in a year or so, what the F? So don't worry about inflation. Take care of this matter to end the war now. That's what you people need to do. And then, while you're doing that, take care of your own people, especially the senior, and I mean senior, with fixed income. They are the ones who cannot deal with the high inflation or the disability with fixed SSI income. They cannot afford to with the inflation. But the fact is that the rest of us can. Even I can. Let's buy less, or let's stretch out a meal. A spaghetti, okay, 2 days, 2 meals, or maybe 2.5 meals. We can all do something, but don't use the election, use inflation to build one team versus another, and neglect the reality of the issue today, which if Russia war is not ended, it's just going to escalate it to something else. You don't have to be a genius to see it. You don't have to be in politics to witness it. If they can kill innocent children in the hospice, okay? If your child, the doctors say will die within a year, and they're here, they're bombing your hospital, how would you feel? So cut out the politic bullshit. Take care of what needs to be taken care of. The inflation, like I say, take care of the senior, take care of the disabled. The rest of us, we can manage. We can take a bus. We can actually carpooling, we can actually sell a homegrown vegetable, homegrown fruit trees, whatever. This is the time to reach out to share with your neighbor. It's not about me, 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 you know? And do me something. Do me a favor, government. If you can do anything good for the people, you know that the housing is a crisis. You are actually put the next phase of working people to be on the street as homeless. What the F? You guys spend so much money on the budget, is sickening, yet there's so many empty, void landed, being deserted out there, and not doing a good thing about it. Why don't you use that and start building housing and resell it to the people like us that we can afford to buy within a price range? But oh no, there's so many politics. No entitlement here. What the F? Did you have to determine what type of business or occupation a person work in order to be able to buy a home or not to buy a home? And you guys waste so much money. All these years you hear about homeless, this, homeless, that. You're about to have the next phase of homeless. The seniors, the disabled. And all this affordable housing is a joke. There's none. You call, there's none there. And if there is, what do you have to do for me? What are you going to bring up for me? That's kind of like an attitude. You take care of me, I take care of you. And that's bullshit. If you're going to do it, that's discriminating. If you're going to do a housing, affordable housing, open to all. Because everyone has their own category. Everyone has their own needs. Everyone has their own family situation. You as a government, if you're going to do something, do it right or don't do it. But don't play the game like, hey, you be good, you obey, I take care of you, you don't, no entitlement, screw you. That's not how a government works. So don't go tell me high inflation, they're screaming, ah! Hell no. Everybody can do something. But, if the governments want to help the civilian, take care of affordable housing.